everybody. As always, we'd like to give you a warm welcome to today's show. I'm your host, of course, Faith, with my co-host, Shaz. Hey, Shaz, can you hear me this?
Yeah, Faith.
Hello.
How are you? Hey, everybody. What's up? Can you hear me?
Hey. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Today, everybody, welcome. We have our special guest, Lurban, back with us.
Hanging out with us. And today we're going to be talking about a fantastic topic, and that is UFOs. If y'all listened to our last show, we ended it like it was too short. And the way we ended it is Shaz posed a question about UFOs, and Florbo asked a very good question. I think, ladies, you want to be asking who is flying those ships. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And I think Florbo is here with us. Hold on. Is this Florban?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Peace, Sea Stars.
Hey, Florban. Welcome.
How are you?
Yeah, Florban, welcome.
How
are you, Florban?
I'm well, thank you. I'm grateful for you to have me back on your platform. I enjoyed your frequency last show, Sea Stars, so I appreciate you having a re-invite so we can kiki some more.
Oh, we're going to kiki. Y'all, you know.
I hear that.
You know, Florban is a philanthropist. She's a therapist, rooted from the French Antilles. She's really in New York. Y'all can tell she's a New Yorker because she's cool like that.
That's right.
You know, she's also a holistic practitioner who links nutrition to behavior and spiritual body. She's an advocate for human and animal rights. And Florban is also a melanated carbon galactic being and a contactee.
Right on.
Welcome, Florban.
Peace.
Yeah, Florban.
Peace to the east, the west.
I hope I know I didn't. Did I do you justice, or would you like to add something?
No, you did me. You did me well. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was masterful. I'm good with the intro.
Okay, cool. Well, Shaz, you want to take it away?
Yeah, we just want, Florban, we're just going to, we just need to dig into this, whatever flying ships or flying birds or whatever they are.
Yes.
I mean, because, of course, they're flying objects, but the thing is that they're interesting, I think.
Absolutely. Well, I think we...
so... We just want to know more about these things, it might sound weird, but, what do they eat? Like, are they interested in, human beings or, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Okay.
If you have seen X-Files, right?
Yeah, I mean...
A lot of weird stuff also happening there, so...
Let's
want to know more about them.
Okay. Well, them is really, really non-specific. It's just like saying that humans are, if I was to describe you, I wouldn't be describing all of humanity based on your propensities or your behavior or the way you look. I mean, we have a vast amount of people on this planet who have a various amount of dispositions and prototypes and phenotypes. So that being said, you can imagine if we have a huge galaxy and universe filled with tons of different planets, some inhabited, some not. But you can imagine if there are any beings that are in contact here, which I know to be, they would have a various amount of dispositions based on species, based on location of where they've come from, and based on their habitual habits that they've either been acclimated to by being here on Earth or came previous to coming here, meaning that they have their general eating or behavioral patterns based on where they came from, what sector of the universe they came from. So let's start off with the fact that there are a multitude of universes and it's nothing. Time magazine actually did a wonderful spread on the multiverse. So we can also assume on the fact that if the Matrix is telling you that there is a multiverse, the hidden information that has been kept from humanity means that that's a multiverse times 10. There are beings that have been visiting this planet and actually have seeded many of us on this planet. There are some that are more obscure, meaning that they are beings that keep themselves well hidden, and there are many beings that are actually out and about amongst us that look quite humanoid, meaning that they are bipedal, they stand on two legs, and they are very reminiscent of our phenotype. They have same facial features, just with slight differences in maybe the way that they make up, and some are cloaking themselves. Now, we ended the last show talking about UFOs and crafts, seeing if it was plausible or possible that there are actually crafts flying, and I think we ended on the note as, if you can accept that there are UFOs, which simply means unidentified flying objects, you can also come up with a solution and have the same question as to if there are crafts in our skies that are unidentifiable, meaning that they're not human made, then who are the beings that are actually, who are the cosmonauts who are actually manning or womanning those crafts? Obviously, when we take a airplane flight, we usually have a captain and a co-captain, right, ladies? And they're responsible for taxing us from point A to point B. You can make the assumption, if you can accept the fact that you know that there's UFOs, there are crafts that come from other worlds, that obviously there would be beings in there manning them, whether they're on the crafts or somewhere else, directing and, GPSing the craft to go from point A to point B. And that being said, there are different types of beings, some which many of us already discuss, which, many of our contactees or are those who are informational people who are in the UFO and ET community talk about: the Pelagians, the Arcturians, the Lyrians, the Syrians, the Anunnaki, the Andromedans, the Zeta Reticulans. There are a host of beings that many of us have some slight information about, based on having intel from some sometimes archaeological finds which show crafts and interaction with some ancient beings, ancient humans interacting with beings that do not look what we consider to be humanoid, and were on crafts or noting crafts on some of the Mayan temples. You'll see crafts on the walls. Also in many of the Kemetic hieroglyphs, you will see remnants of crafts being manned, flying chariots that are also spoken about in the Bible. There's all types of remnants of extraterrestrials and UFOs that have been out in the public, as far as having that information outwardly given to us for a while now.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question. So how do they look relative to the way we look?
Well, they're different.
Which beings would be more, closer in features and, hair, texture, color, height, size, to who?
Well,
is that clear?
There are different type of beings. So let's talk about ones that are probably denoted more so in the Bible, called the Nephilim, which are noted to be anywhere from 6'7", 6'5", to anywhere to 10 feet tall. The Nephilim, which some would contribute or attribute to being the Anunnaki, or some would say that the Nephilim were some other form of reptilian that coexisted here and had a lot to do with the bioengineering of the human being that we see today on the planet. Now, if we're talking about the Nephilim, the sons of God, the daughters of Goddess, depending on your perspective, we would also state that these beings are not beings that you would readily see today. Rarely do you see many people who are superseding in height of not 7 feet. That would be an obscurity. So that being said, we would note that if any beings are here, they would have hybrid, meaning they mixed their genealogy with the human population that already coexisted on planet Earth. And many of those beings would look like and more likened to our size, meaning that they've, it would stunt the growth a little bit if you're mixing with humanoids that were actually regular height, which you can consider to be anywhere from 5'5", depending on what group of humans on the planet you were mixed with, to 6 feet or 6'5". To the maximum, or 6'7", which would be obscure. They would look more like us, but they would have capabilities that would supersede our human abilities, meaning that they would be stronger. They would have heightened sense of strength, heightened sense of intellectual paralysis, meaning their brain power, their ability to think and supersede capacity to perceive and see things in a different way. They would have telekinesis or telepathy, be able to communicate through the minds rather than through the mouth, telecommunication through the mouth. They would also have the ability to move things, telekinesis, move things with their minds, or perhaps levitate. Also, they would have the ability to cloak themselves if they looked less than human. So if they did not look human, many times we've noted that many beings would cloak themselves, whether it was with alien technology or with a mind control mechanism that many of the ET groups have, and they're able to alter the way that you visually see them by manipulating your cerebral cortex and finessing your subconscious so that you see them as they would like for you to see them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm an
But I have actually a question. The thing is that, but they always look so skinny and so tall, and their eyes is like I don't think they look like human beings.
But it depends.
Because you were saying they look like us, right?
Because
yeah. I mean when you see, not when you see them, but when you have seen, like, in a magazine, they look, like very skinny and tall, and like their heads, the head are so big and the eyes are like so scary.
Well, in the magazines, you have to realize.
And they have long fingers.
Yes, you have to realize.
But they just.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
You have to realize in magazines that's propaganda that is being initiated by governmental officials that give the okay to give that kind of information. Now, to assume that those beings look like that based on television or propaganda given by beings that have no incentive to telling you the truth of what really beings look like, because if you knew that they look more human than not, it would probably frighten you a little more. And the fact of the matter is, them putting out propaganda that they look like tall, skinny grays kind of keeps you looking in one direction. Meanwhile, they're walking around in another direction looking quite humanoid, or at least finessing the way you look at them and manipulating the way you see them. So I disagree. If they're promoting grays, which generally you'll see on magazine covers, tall, skinny, gray-like beings with large head and large eyes, we know a lot of the ET groups create what we consider to be biobots, or biological entities that look likened to being reared fetuses that are working for many of the ET groups, and they're not so much human. They're created as almost like robotoids to be able to do a lot of the field work of the ET groups. They're not what you think. Those beings are not the ETs that are actually here interacting with many of them. I'm not saying they're not there aren't actual grays, but most grays are bioorganisms that are created by other ET groups, whether it be reptilian, whether it be Arcturians, whether it be other groups that create these beings to actually do field work with them, like we utilize certain mechanical beings or robotoids to do things for us, especially in the scientific field.
Yeah, and you're mentioning that they cloak themselves, they camouflage themselves, and you mentioned you dropped quite a few names. The one that stuck with me is the Pleiadians, and you said Arcturians and Anunnakians, and there's something else you said. But now that we can't really identify them based on, that they're manipulating, camouflaging how they look and so on, how can we identify them? By character, what are their characteristics?
I mean, you would
start with the A's. First, I think you named a few with the A's.
Yeah.
I think there were like 4 names.
In order to characterize specific groups, you would have to be aware that they exist. I mean, generally, many of us in the contact who are in contact with specific beings have different characteristics of the beings that we're interacting with. So the Pelagians, which you mentioned, which is much more popular online, especially when people are looking and researching ET groups that are interacting with humans. The Pelagians, for one point, if you look at a lot of the propaganda on a lot of the ET chronicles and articles and magazines and online talking about the Pelagians, generally they would have pictures of blonde-haired, blue-eyed beings that are wearing leotards with some sort of color and some sort of metallic or symbol on their shoulder or on their suit, their spandex suit. That's quite the opposition of those who are actually interacting with the Pelagians. The Pelagians, according to the Aboriginal, who have the historical chronological archives of their interaction with the Pelagians, had said they were seeded specifically by the Pelagians, and that they are genealogy-wise more what physically and characteristically the Pelagians look like. So if you look at the native Aboriginal today, more so previously, a couple of years ago, remember the Aboriginals have changed. They've been mixing with the general population of Australians that are originally from Europe. So they're a little different than they originally look like. But the Pelagians, Cherokee, have also talked about their interaction with the Pelagians and being seeded by the Pelagians. The Chickasaw Creek, also the Blackfoot, also, and the Hopi have some interaction, and also are saying that physiologically they are likened to what the actual Pelagians look like, looking very more so copper tone, brown skin, straighter hair to some curly, maybe wavy hair, more acute features, which the Aboriginal have more robust features, darker eyes, and being very connected to nature. So that is the information that we've gotten from the archives. These are the only beings on this planet, along with the Cherokee, who actually have proof that they've had interaction other than the Nomos, the Dogon tribe, which is located in South Africa, who's also talked about their interactions with their star family from Sirius, the Sirius constellation. And they also denote having contact with beings. And before we had telescopes or technology that allowed us to see the different galactic, different stars in the star system, the Dogon tribe had a very specific chartable layout of Sirius the Sirius A, B, and C, and they had a lot of information that was provable after we had gotten telescopes and a lot of technology that actually where we could see the star system and how the planets were actually located and how they were in a series of planetary alignment. So they were able to give that intel as well.
And which group do they belong to? Sorry, which group do these belong to? The Dogon?
The Dogon tribe, located in South Africa.
Yeah, and which group do they belong to? Which galactic group do they belong to?
They're saying they're connected to the Sirius. Beings from Sirius, the Nomos. Some people would also, the Dogon tribe will say they're connected to some of the star beings from Sirius C, Sirius B, and also have a connection to the Mer family, the mermaids. They have some intel about where the dolphins came from, because the planet in Sirius B, apparently the Mer family, the aquatic family, meaning mermaids, mermen, were actually from another planet that were actually brought here, along with dolphins and whales that were from that planet originally. That's why there's some intel with the interaction of the dolphins and the whales, of the pilot whales with mermaids. And the Dogon tribe has a lot of that information based on the connection to the Nomos.
And then we have the... Somebody has a question? 4879, you have a question? Would you like to add something? Or are you just listening? Okay, just listening. Go on, Shaz, you wanted to ask something?
No, I just think it's... Okay, I need to ask you this.
Yes.
Have you seen them?
Well...
You have. So cool.
Well, I've had interaction with a few beings, but as far as which ones have you said that I've seen? Which one are you asking about?
the flying object.
Yes. Yes. I am a contactee. I've had interaction with beings from other worlds. My particular group that I am directly in regular contact with are the Andromedans, which are what you consider to be beings that look like into myself, but they have dreadlocks. They are actually Mayan women that coexisted here on the planet at the time when the matriarchy was at its descent. At the last cataclysm, the Mayans didn't disappear. They went into inner Earth. They found a stargate, and they found themselves going to the Andromedan star system, where they met a group of insectilians that they befriended. They became friends, and they work closely with insectilians. So I'm actually in direct contact with a group of insectilians as well as Andromedan females, which have dreadlocks. A lot of them have markings on their face. They're here also interacting with the population right now, but I've also had contact with the Zeta Reticulums, and I've also been telecommunicated with the Mer family, the aquatic family.
Okay. And, I mean, when the first time you were going to, you were going to have contact with them, were you afraid?
I've had...
Or did you have any, feelings, you know what I mean? Like, were you nervous? Or, you don't know what to expect, right?
Well, I've had a series of contacts since I was a baby, which my mother had detailed in beings coming in my room. And anytime she'd come in my room, she'd hear a lot of shuffling. But when I was more conscious of my interaction, I didn't really know what I was interacting with until I became a little older, and I kind of noticed there was a pattern of interaction with beings that I became aware of later on as far as Andromedans. Fear was never based. They cultivated me, and these are part of my star family. So because of that, I've never really had fear based with my Andromedan family. Now, with other beings that have been in contact with me, yes. I've had some interaction with some ancients, which I liken to be some of the ancient Anunnaki. And it was a little frightful because they are stronger beings, and I noted that their interaction with me was more based on dealing with my genealogy more so than anything else.
Is it like saying, some people, they can't, they just have this, they don't know how they can do it, but they can basically, feel that, when a person is dead, and then they can feel their soul, or, they can feel them, so they can talk to their family and they can say, yeah, I can feel your mom or dad or whoever, is here, is telling me that I should tell you. I mean, is it like the same way, you know what I mean? Is it the same way you have this feelings, or you're so close to them, or,
It's different in different ways. I mean, it depends on how the interaction. With my personal interaction, it's been more physical, tangible, and some has been connected with me in what some would consider to be the ether or the dream world, which some would say the dream world. But when I'm going into the ether, many of them interact with me, but they've interacted with me person to person, meaning person in front of me to person. A lot of the information that I hold along my lines with the contact with the Andromedans is very tangible, meaning that they speak to me as if I'm talking to you. And I must note this because a lot of times when people talk this way, they will ask their psychological history. I am sound, I am sane, I am a mother, I am drug-free, I'm alcohol-free, I'm a holistic practitioner, I eat well, and I'm sane. And I'm sane in an insane world.
We think, you're from another planet.
And you know what? As you said that, I was just thinking the whole time you were talking, I was just thinking, why is this topic made to be so, why is it made to be like that?
It used to be.
Why isn't just, like any other thing? I know now people talk more about it, but why is there still kind of, for lack of better words, I'm going to say that stigma, or nobody wants to, talk about it, but we watch all these shows, sci-fi, we enjoy them, Avatar, we enjoy them, but having a conversation is very difficult. Why do you think so?
I think there are some conditioning factors that play into our lack of awareness of their presence. I think propaganda has worked very well in creating sci-fi shows that make us think that these things are more so science fiction, fabricated, fairy tales. And I think that has done well to, even if we're interacting or something happens in front of us, we're quick to discount it and put it off as something that our imagination or something that we think we're seeing. And we kind of put it in that way. I think that those in power have made it a point to really keep a lot of information hidden based on the fact that there are ET groups working here governmentally that are in control. And it would only be beneficial for you to be asleep and unaware of their cohabitation here and their interaction as far as governmental, working with the governmental system. If you knew as much as we know here in the aware community as far as UFOs and UTs, then you would have a little respect, and you would have way more questions to those who are in power, and they would no longer be able to hold power anymore if you knew the lies and deception that has undergone with these groups that are not terrestrials. They are not from Mother Earth. They are from other planets, and many of our governmental groups, different governmental groups, are working with a liaison of different types of ETs and working and getting technology in exchange for selling their people out. That's basically what's going on.
Yeah. And you said that we were seeded here. How does the seeding happen?
Well, just like
because
you would...
we see mom and dad,
yeah,
they have a baby, and voila, magic happens.
You know, us,
yeah.
If you've ever worked in the clinical field, many in the scientific field, you work in laboratories with rats or mice, or depending on what labs you work in. And a lot of times there's a hybridization process. It's the same as if you're rearing, I mean, you see a whole bunch of chickens and white chickens with pink eyes. You know that those are not natural chickens. Where did they come from? There's a lot of them, and you buy chickens every day at the grocery store, and you buy the white chickens with the white feathers and the pink eyes. Where do those chickens come from? According to those chickens in their coops, they're natural. They don't know any different. They were born from an egg, they hatch from an egg, and they're coexisting, living, eating, and they know nothing different. The hybridization process that has occurred on this planet has superseded any expectation that you could really acknowledge. They have been seeding their own hybrid children, hybrid beings here for eons, meaning that there are older groups here, especially with the Anunnaki, who are known to be scientists, who have genetically modified beings mixing with their genealogy and created hosts of people, what we consider to be humans today, that are living, breathing, breeding as if they were always here. The problem is we lost a lot of historical resources, which some of our African and European brethren do have archives of, and it's not let out publicly for obvious reasons. But there has been a hybridization program that has occurred on every level with every ET group. Every ET group, many of them have created hybrids here that are coexisting. And we have many different bloodlines from different galactic bloodlines.
I mean, it makes you wonder. I mean, it's, yeah. Go on, Charles.
No, I just said, wow, but I'm also thinking, you said that you had kids, right? And I mean, like, do they also have this same thing? Or, because you said that you had this from, you know, when you were like a child.
Yes.
Like your mom could sense there was something, you know, and then can you feel that with your own children? Or
well, for security purposes, and I think you would understand this, I can't detail anything that's happening with them. I feel free to disclose my own interactions, but for the fact that this is, you know, live and for their own protection,
right,
I would make sure that I don't want to extend any, that's happening with them.
Mm-hmm. But still, it's amazing that, because like you also said, Faith, that, you know, it's like we see a lot of things, but sometimes when you need to talk about these things, like scientific things, it's, I don't know, it's different, or, you know, it's not, maybe people don't talk about it, or if they do, maybe they're not so open about it, or I don't know.
Yes, you can always discuss it. Oh, people are asking for the number. Is it okay if I give the number out?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, if anyone wants to call in, it's 516-387-1746. The number is 516-387-1746. If you want to call in, you can call in. what has happened is that they're
Give us the number. Sorry, guys. Really gross.
What's
Actually, Flipper, she's also the host. And the
You're welcome to join. We're really.
They're asking because on live they're asking if they could call in. So I wanted to make sure they wanted to call in. I'm sorry.
Today we were just like ready for Fleur, but we didn't give an intro. We didn't tell you all the number. We were just like,
it's okay. It's okay. They already know.
She's just giving the number out.
I do this all the time, so it's okay.
That's why you're so special. Somebody's really our special.
It's all good. Oh, someone wants a number again. Again, the number is, that's okay. 516-387-1746. 516-387-1746. Press 1 if you have a question. So, Sea Stars.
What? I guess
Welcome, everybody. You're hanging out with us, with our co-host, Dogon. That's the case. You missed it.
You didn't know.
Today we're here with our co-host, Flurban and Shaz. Okay, so go on, Flurban.
What it is that the question you asked me was if people are having this interaction, why wouldn't they know? A lot of times also, which I've noticed, a lot of very religious people will equate their experiences, if it's considered to be maybe phenomenal or what one would consider to be maybe supernatural, they will attribute it to something religious. So a lot of times I will hear religious people who I know for a fact, based on my contactee experience and talking to other contactees and abductees, I know that they're having a level of contact with galactic beings, but they associate it with something that has to do with Jesus Christ or to do with Allah or to do with their religious sect, as opposed to leaving it.
Are the beings religious, Flurban? Are these beings religious as well?
Absolutely not, but they've stimulated religion. They've stimulated religion. They're not religious, but all religions are based on contact with ETs that have stimulated, or based on humans' interaction with certain groups that have created these stories, these fables, these books to be created based on their interaction with extraterrestrial. If you speak about Jesus Christ and you talk about, and today in 2018, and you talk about a being that has these supernatural abilities, he turns blood into wine, he turns, he's able to do these magnificent healing.
Water.
Yeah, he's able to do these magnificent healing performances. You would say today, in the same time, this being is most likely a hybrid. In my community, they would call him a hybrid. But back then, when they didn't have the language or the communication or the information to even be able to say what this being was, they just considered him to be godlike. So very much so, our experience with religion has a lot to do with sometimes how we view supernatural occurrences or galactic connection in our daily lives. Many people are having interaction with ETs and they don't denote it as anything other than maybe their imagination or being connected to the Holy Spirit or Jesus Christ.
Is there a difference? Is there a difference?
It's all your perspective.
One and the same?
It could be one and it's all perspective. You know, it's all relative to what you know, if I say potato and you say potato, we're talking about different things. It's just our perspective and how we say it, how we identify it.
Yeah. How would one know that they're in contact with a being? You know, because somebody just texted me and said that's evil stuff. So how would somebody know, first of all, what is evil? Is it evil? And how would somebody know if they're in contact with an evil or not evil, you know, benevolent or malevolent being?
Well, it's really how you feel. I mean, we would use, you know, and we have to be mindful not to use such strong judgments on things that we have no idea about. It's just like judging someone who's brown if you're not exposed to people who are brown, but everything on television says brown people are negative, they're violent, they're drug addicts, they're drug dealers. I mean, if you've been consistently, perpetually told these things, then you're going to judge brown people as evil, as lower. So we have to be very mindful of the judgment that we give to beings, especially if we don't know anything about them. Let's just take in the fact that if you don't know what they are, let's keep judgment out of it. Whether they're good or bad is based on your own perspective, and maybe you knowing a little bit more will allow you to have a better viewpoint of what you're dealing with. Now, if a being, just like anything else, is coming within your field, just like you would have your sixth sense to know if someone is good or bad in your normal life, you would have that same feeling with any group that's interacting with you, meaning that, let's say a group, ET has come, and I don't know that they're cloaking themselves, but they come in my realm, but I feel love. I feel acceptance. I feel good energy around them. I can make the assumption based on my own auric field, how I feel about them. Just before they say anything, I can feel a good vibe. That kind of denotes their propensity, what they really are, how they really are. That's usually how I tell people to kind of discern. It's your spiritual discernment. Before someone talks, their presence speaks volumes. That's why when you first impressions are lasting. You ever heard someone say first impressions are lasting? It's absolutely true. When you meet a being, whether it's human or not, you can know, just like a dog. You know if a dog is defensive, if it's growling, if it's has this defensive disposition, you know the dog is maybe a little more violent. You take a dog that's friendly, wagging its tail, it's friendly. We have to use natural discernment. Discernment that you would use with humans is the same discernment you would use with ET groups. The only difference is that people don't like the fact that some groups are cloaking themselves, and that makes sense.
Why do they cloak themselves when we have been you said this word feeding is kind of always coming up in my mind, because if these different beings have seeded the humans, or they've blended in with the different human species or beings or races, why would they cloak themselves when these human beings on this earth are part of them?
Because
you know what I mean? It's like your mother is cloaking herself from you. You know what I mean? Because
we're no longer in the age of awareness. We're starting to go back into the age of Aquarius, which is awareness and self-awareness. Whereas in the age of Pisces, it was all about beliefs and deceit and lies, and that was the frequency that was previous was the age of Pisces, where everything is about beliefs. Nothing's provable. Everything is just kind of like smoke and mirrors. Now we're entering the age of Aquarius. Now, at the time when we were walking with these beings, those were our ancient days, which you'll see on the walls of the ancient Kemet. You'll see on the Mayan walls, the hieroglyphs. You will see humans walking with beings that don't look human, reptilian, what have you. They had much more of a personal interaction with the beings. Over time, with certain beings coming on the planet that wanted to have power based on deceit, we stopped getting that personal interaction, and we went into like a mental fog, a mental sleep, so that we don't have any recollection of having interaction with these beings, whether they're connected to us genetically or not. Because of that, you don't have that personal face-to-face interaction, and many of the groups that you're interacting with, some of them are not benevolent. They are malevolent, meaning that they are cloaking themselves in order to manipulate and also to feed off of the lower vibration of humanity. And for that reason, they don't want you to know that they're here, because they won't be able to feed off of you if you know that they exist.
Okay. Once again, Shaz, we have 2 minutes left on the show, and someone just said that they will feed us. They don't. Yeah. Just leaving us with another huge, big, open box. Because now we want to know.
Yes.
Like last time you told us. Last time you were like, okay, so we want to know who's driving the ship, and now we want to know who's feeding on what. Like,
exactly.
Sure, really wants to know what they eat, but now I want to know, how do they feed on...
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Anyway,
there
that's
was
for a
also
whole
one of
other
the
show.
questions, like, how
We
do
have
they,
like a minute left on the show, Shaz.
Oh, wow.
We have 1 minute.
Okay.
Let's leave with the last word.
I don't think we can solve this with 1 minute, though. But exactly, again, one of the questions was also like, I mean, what do they eat? How do they live? How can they survive?
Yeah.
Because
let's give Florgon the last word, Shaz, because
the show will just cut, and we want her to.
Okay.
Thank you, Fleur Braun. Please, any last words before we get cut off?
I'm just grateful and thankful that you're having this conversation. I think it's important. I think it's relative at the time when we're entering the age of Aquarius. I think it's very relative why you ladies are so intrigued by this topic, and also that you're opening a format that this can be openly discussed without censure, or you know, in a way that's more positive, and also allowing people to interact in a conversation that normally they would not ever feel comfortable or able to even have this level of communication. So I'm grateful for you ladies for doing this. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fleur Braun. Thank you, Shaz. Thank you, all our callers. We need a part 3. Y'all, did I say that? Yes, I did. I know. Thank you, Fleur Braun, for
Thank you. Peace, family.
And I think we want to part 3, but you know, we'll have to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know, we have 1,001 questions this weekend.
I know. Thank you so much. Infinite bliss. I think we're done. Hey, family. Okay. I think it's wonderful. Those are the ladies from Denmark. I think it's beautiful. I love doing this show. And, you know, no question is a negative question. I think every question is relative. I think for us to really be clear with this topic, we need to allow for this level of communication. And, you know, many of us who are in the ET and UFO community, we've been there, done this. But for those who are just entering into it, I think we have to have a level of patience and really be eloquent in how we really formulate a conversation, a liaison with others who are not necessarily in the awareness that we are. So I love that. They're good people. Ladies of Denmark, remember, it's nighttime for them. It's our afternoon. So the ladies in Denmark, I think it was like 9 o'clock for them, 9:30. You know, so it's interesting. Yeah, but it's okay. And, you know, I don't judge anyone because we've all been at a beginner stage. And it's not for us to judge someone who has that level of awareness. It will be heightened. That conversation will allow for more going deep into the rabbit hole. I wish you guys could call in. You want me to do you guys want to call in and talk for a little bit? Since I'm already on, I can open up my blog talk real quick. You want to call in, ask some questions while we're here? I have a couple minutes. So let me open up the blog talk, okay? Why not? I just have a couple more minutes, and I figure we can do this while we're on live already. So give me a second, and I'll just log in, and you guys can call in. And you know the number is 515-605-9881. Remember that, 515. 515-605-9881. Remember the call-in number, okay? So you can call in. You know, I'll leave the call lines open if I can get there. Thank you. Thank you, Nerdy Pineapple. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nicole. I'm just going to go live real quick on Blog Talk so you can call in. I love the conversation. I think we should extend it a little further. You know, it's always wonderful to have this conversation, and I think it's necessary. You know, if we want to be accepted in the world of, you know, this type of interaction, we have to be allowed to have this level of conversation. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just typing it in as we go. There's certain things I have to do. All right, I'm almost done. All right, let's go live. All right, you can call in 515-605-9881. Okay. Yay, we're in. Okay. 515-605-9881. There's no callers yet, so when you get a chance, call in. Sovereignty. You want to talk about sovereignty? All right. Is someone on already? I see someone there. Okay, so sovereignty. Okay, we're going to talk about sovereignty as far as your medical. I know I left you guys. Okay, so there's only certain things I'm allowed to discuss on here for good reason. As far as sovereignty, as far as your biological body, I'm only allotted to discuss it to a certain degree. Why? It's because there are certain beings that are not, that are actually what we call low jacks, meaning that their genetics is low jacks, meaning that they're genetically modified beings that were created here, even if it's the 4th and 5th generation. So because of that, they have zero sovereignty and rights over their own genealogy based on the fact, oh, hold on. I got to call in my show. Hold on. I forgot to call in my own show. Hold on, family. Oh, hold on 1 second. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Hold on. I flipped the camera by accident. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Let me call in my own number. I can't because I got to call in. Hold on. I keep forgetting I have to call in my own show.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
The PIN you entered does not match the PIN you have on file for your account.
Hold on.
Please re-enter your PIN. To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay. All right, family. Now we're online. Okay, so listen.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Peace. Okay,
Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, there we go. So now we're live on the show. Oh, people are calling in. Okay, remember to dial 1 if you have a question. Push the number 1 so that I know you have a question. I see everybody's on here already. So the reason why I can't give all the information based on genealogy and oh, I'm sorry, lay in front of the light. I'm sorry. Am I over there? The reason why I can't give that information on genealogy and sovereignty is because not all beings are sovereign beings. The only ones who can claim sovereignty over their genealogy are those who have not been homogenized by beings that are hostile. And more people than not have been, unfortunately, hybridized, genetically modified beings that are here, and your genetics are not your own, meaning that you had beings that created your generations, whether it's 5 generations ago, and they seeded and they homogenized your bloodline. And because of that, they own the rights over your genealogy, literally. Okay, so that's what that means. And unfortunately for some, that is the case. Now, I can't give all the information on sovereignty, but what I will state to you are there are certain things you can do so that beings are unable to utilize your genetics to do harm or to clone you. There are certain things you can do. I can't give all the information, and that's just what it is. Like I said, not everybody is YouTube is vast, and for that reason, not every being here is deserving of that kind of intel and information. Some of you are, and you know who you are, and some aren't. Okay, so probably that's information that I'll extend to some of the Cypher crew. Unfortunately, for some others, I'm sorry, but I'll share some other information. Okay, so for that reason, let me go to the phone lines. Let me talk to our family. Okay, here we go. Peace, family. Phone number 707-87886. You're on the line with Fleur Broom. Peace.
Hi, Fleur Broom.
Peace, family.
This is Mel.
Hi, how are you?
We spoke, good. We spoke last week on FB Messenger.
Oh, okay.
Now, you remember, Fleur? Because I don't want to, give too much information.
Remind me a little bit. What was the conversation?
We were talking about, certain Satanists, things of that nature.
Sicknesses, you said?
Satanists. Satanism, demonic, things like that.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so I'm calling in because I found out my genealogy.
Okay.
Late last year, I found out that I'm O positive.
Oh, welcome to the OG. That, you're OG.
Yeah, I'm an OG for real, And I've got intel that I come from a certain star system, the Lyra star system.
Okay.
And I've been trying to get information because prior to finding out this information, I have been treating a cat. I've been contacted, I think, by the Pleiadians some years ago, and I didn't even know. I thought it was like the Holy Spirit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so with all that information, I'm trying to, find out what can I do with myself. Because I feel like there are things that I don't know about myself that other people know. And I feel like they could possibly be feeding off of me. And I really want to know, how can I protect myself?
It's a couple of questions. Okay, so first is there are times in our lives where information will be dispersed based on you matching the frequency and the vibration that is applicable to the information that you're desiring. What am I saying? I'm saying that if I'm in first grade and I have information, if I desire information that I would get if I'm in 5th or 6th grade, I can't get that information, nor would I be able to process it based on the fact that I'm at a certain frequency or a level of understanding that disallows me from overstanding information that's above my head. Meaning that be patient with how information is dispersed. Everything is within you, and we discussed this before. Your body is your ancestors. You have every ancestral memory in you from the beginning of your bloodline. Meaning that if your ancestors used to build pyramids, you have that information and you have the way to do that. If your ancestors were cultivators of growing trees or growing plants or herbs, you have that information in you. Just like ants and bees don't need some other bee to tell them exactly what to do, we unfortunately have, with the vaccinations, with the pesticides, with the GMO foods, with the trauma-based environment, have a lockdown of a lot of our codons, which releases this information, should be readily dispersed to you, and you should be able to access this information. So all I'm saying is that be patient in that when it's time for you to get information, it will be easily retrieved and it will be easily dispersed based on you matching the intellectual and spiritual level and vibration applicable to the information that you were requiring for a higher state of consciousness.
I understand that completely.
Okay.
Okay.
I know it gets
Thank you, sir.
I know it gets frustrating. Oh, I'm sorry. I know it gets a little frustrating because you kind of like out the gate and you're ready and you just want it all. But understand that too much information too quickly. That's why I don't suggest people getting on drugs that enhance their pineal glands, gland expounding and blowing open. Why? Is because your mind cannot process what it's not ready to process. And when you force it, you cause more damage than you do any good. So I think you're perfectly aware. You sound sound. You are actually in the wave of in the wave of higher awareness. So I think you're good to go. And you know your blood and you know your bloodline. You found out your blood type. A lot of people haven't even found that out.
But it's lonely because it's like not with the online community, but like in real life out here in society, there's not a lot of people who you can just go up and talk to, like, hey, what's your blood type? Where you from? You know, it's all like people to guide you. So I feel like a weirdo.
Welcome to my world. No, you're not a weirdo. You love yourself. And you want to know who you're interacting with. And that's being self-aware. And also what you will do, you'll promote them to be curious about who and what they are. So all you're doing is stimulating others to find out more about themselves. Everyone should know their blood type. The fact that you don't is a testament that the governmental system and the CDC has done a good job keeping you from wanting to know more about yourself. Okay?
Yeah. Most definitely. Okay, sir.
Okay, sister. I love you too, Mama. Take care. Thank you for calling in. Peace.
Bye.
Next caller. Oh, a 914 number. You calling from Westchester County? New York number. 914-2235. You're on the line with Fleur Room. Peace, family. 914-2235. Peace.
Hello.
Peace. Hi, C-Star.
Hello.
Hey, yes.
Oh my God, Fleur.
Yes. You calling from Westchester County? You got a Westchester County number.
Yes, I am.
Oh, cool.
Huh?
It's nice. Calling from my neck of the woods, my old neck of the woods. What's good?
Yeah.
Oh, turn off
the calling to say hi, and I do have some questions, but I just still wanted to say hi.
Okay, turn off your backlight so we don't hear that back, the feedback.
Oh, is this better?
That's better. Someone asked if I smoke weed. No, I do not. I am drug-free and I'm alcohol-free. I am sane. Oh, no, I still hear it. Do you still have it on?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move so I can... I'll move so it doesn't do it. I'm sorry, but I had a question because I meditate a lot.
Okay.
So this month I was, I guess, meditating more than anything, and for one of the meditations I don't know if I fell asleep.
Okay.
And oh God, I'm so nervous. I don't know why.
Don't be nervous.
So I remember. Oh, I'm sorry. So I remember in my dream, I went downstairs. I don't know why I was going downstairs. And then I saw this really tall, dark male in my living room. And I thought, that kind of looks like Dennis Rodman. But then I was like, that's not Dennis Rodman. But I don't know if that's what my brain, used as an example because he was so tall and he was so dark. And I was wondering, who is that in my living room? So I just remember I woke up and I kind of brushed it off, and I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but I was like, all right. But so the next day I was meditating again, and I don't know if I went really in deep. I have been contacted a couple of times, and I think I know who my star family is.
Okay.
So I remember sitting on laying on a bed, I don't know, maybe I was getting an upgrade.
Yeah.
And there was this metal thing that one of them were carrying to me, and my forehead was wide open, and it was this octagon shaped thing, maybe 2 to 3 inches thick. I could see it
I was right there holding it, but it was one of my star family members or something holding it, and they put that in my forehead. And then I remember looking at my arm, my right arm, and it looked like the outline of a blue Christmas tree, and it was underneath my skin. And I remember looking at my arm after they put this thing in my forehead, and I was like, what is that in my arm? And I was like, wait, what did you just put in my forehead? And I remember when I sat up, they were all looking at me, and the first thing I saw when I sat up was like this kind of large praying mantis. And then to the left was Arcturians, and then to the right was the really large, tall, melanated male again. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, okay. So I got up off the bed thing, and I started like moving, kind of a little bit robotic. Like I was like, why am I feeling so weird and moving weird? And then I guess I started walking around. I don't know if I was on the ship, and once I started walking around somewhere, I felt fine. Like everything was fine, went back to normal. Like I can move fine. And then I remember seeing two other people. There was like this white male and then this black female, and we were all naked. And I didn't know I was naked until I saw them, and I was like, oh, I'm naked too. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know, something distracted me, and I got out of the meditation. But I just wanted to know, like, have you ever like heard about the thing I described that they put in my head? Or I don't know. I'm just still trying to figure stuff out. I kind of started my spiritual journey in September. So I don't know, this stuff is still pretty new to me.
Okay. Yes. Yes, I have heard. Not to remember, everything's specific to you, so it's unique to you. But yes, I am aware that they usually tinker with your third eye. It's usually to recalibrate you. It sounds like they recapped you, meaning that you don't have a cap on anymore, and it could be why you woke up. When did you have this dream? When did you have this experience meditating? When? Can you tell me around about what month?
The first one? Sure. The first one with the guy in my living room, the being in my living room, was January 10th, and then the next day I meditated, it was January 11th.
And when did you say you woke up, like you start your spiritual journey? When did you start?
September of last year. It was like when I officially started, like when I started paying attention and noticing things and noticing like many, I guess, kind of contacts. Because it seemed like once I woke up, I started seeing stuff. Especially, I think my star family are the Arcturians.
Okay,
they're the ones that first started contacting me.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that I'm listening to the beings that you're interacting with now. Generally, there's certain beings that have liaisons with one another. The Arcturians and this tall melanated guy, it seems a little, I don't know that it's Arcturians that you're in contact with, especially when you say the mantis. You might think that based on the light that you saw on your arm. I have a feeling that they took a cap off you, meaning that usually people will identify having a clock and placed on top of their third eye. Sometimes they'll have beings work on their neck. It sounds like you had a cap, or they cleared out what was when I say a cap, there's caps on our level of overstanding, of self-awareness, or even our spiritual ability to rise above a certain level of overstanding. Whenever you have a cap, you can only go as high as what the cap is, meaning that you can only take in so much spiritual information until you reach a point where you hit a brick wall and you no longer are able to pick up any more information that's higher than the frequency that you kind of hit the brick wall at. It sounds like you had your spiritual awakening and then they took the cap off of you, meaning that it's allowing you to expand your level of understanding of things, of your consciousness. But the beings, I really don't know that it's Arcturians you're in contact with. That tall being that looked like Dennis Rodman, that's more likened to the Centaurians or Anunnaki. The fact of the matter is, what's your blood type? Do you know your blood type?
Yeah, I used to give blood, and back then when I wasn't really conscious, I'm A positive.
Oh, you're A positive. Okay. You Native American? You have a lot of you have a lot of Native American?
No, I was actually born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, and I'm biracial.
That doesn't mean you're not.
I'm
Okay. That doesn't mean you're not Native American. Well, Native American. That's the Americas. Remember, I'm from the Caribbean. We're mixed with Arawak, Taino, and Carib. Those are natives. And they're considered Native Americans based on the Americas. What else are you mixed with?
Well, yeah, I understand that. I did my, well, the only reason I said it is because I did do my, like, get, the one of those ethnicity testing, but now I'm thinking they may not be that correct. So I'm about 68% sub-Saharan African, 30-something% Asian, and then 1%, I think they said European or North African.
Okay. That sub-African is usually cloaked. The Native American bloodline is usually cloaked in the sub-Saharan, whether you're European or African, brown, because they don't want people taking on their indigenous, genealogy. They don't want you to know that you have it. So now they put the criteria of Native bloodlines inside of sub-Saharan, so it's all mucky. So you don't know it's there. They took away the marker for that. They did that, I think 2013, I think they did that. They started doing it more. So nobody will even show up, not many people will show up with markers in Native American anymore, even if they're mixed with the Native indigenous people, which I can debunk that all day. That's why I'm working with getting our own genealogists and clinical study people of ourselves over abroad, so that we can have actual data that's actually, legitimate. It's all a lie. But for that reason, you are most likely indigenous. You got the A positive, which makes me think you're mixed with probably a little bit of that Arawak and Carib, maybe even the Taino. Why I asked this question, because I want to know who's in contact with you, and the fact that you're having this tall brown being and you're positive like that, it could be the Centaurians or it could be the Anunnaki. You're from the Caribbean, so Anunnaki or that bloodline is all in the Caribbean, saturated along with the Andromedans, but most likely more the Anunnaki Nega line, and you're positive, so it makes me think you're along the Nega serpent Anunnaki bloodline. That being is most likely Anunnaki. That's my call, or Centaurian. But that the fact that you had a mantis with you makes me think that it just. How small was the mantis? Like the little mantis, was it big or small?
It was kind of small. I just remember the who I thought was the Octurians, because I've seen them before, and I know that, I don't know, they're tiny. They're so small. Like they're so cute. If it's them, hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the phone cut off. But yeah, and the mantis, it was about a little bit taller than the Arcturians, and then I remember the male just being really big. So I guess it was like small, medium, large.
Why I say that is that generally the Arcturians don't work along with any of the melanated dominant groups, to my knowledge. I could be wrong. And not to say you didn't have contact with the Arcturians. Are you, do you sing? Are you a musician? Are you artistic?
No, I'm actually I got my master's degree in public health, but I do love to draw and cook. So.
You do love to draw. What did you do as a little girl? What was your thing?
I loved cooking, and I loved being outside. My mom told me I used to have I used to cook with a lot of the dirt and take my mom's Scotch bonnet peppers and play around with them and pretend to make dishes.
That's because you're an earthbound being. You might have been in contact with some interterrestrials or Martians. I'm getting more Martians and interterrestrials. The Arcturians could be there, but something about the trio that you have in there. Remember, I know of liaisons between specific groups, but it doesn't mean I know all. So don't take this at face value, because obviously, if we knew all, we wouldn't be in this predicament of being unaware of our space families or our galactic families. So just take this with a grain of salt. But I have a feeling that, because the first thing I thought when you got the tall being is it's got to be one of the groups of the Centaurians or the Anunnaki, but Martians have a good liaison with Arcturians. So if it is an Arcturian, that this was who you were interacting with, then it's Martians that you were interacting with as far as the tall, brown, melanated man. That's a Martian. Martians have good liaisons with Arcturians, to my knowledge, but not the Anunnaki and certainly not the Centaurians. So if it's a case, and interterrestrials do too. So, and you have the positive bloodline, which lets me know that you're connected to Mother Earth. So all this to say, I can kind of discern somewhat that if it is Arcturians, then definitely you had interaction with either an interterrestrial or a Martian. We have a huge Martian colony with a lot of brown people on Mars. So it could be either one of those groups. But the fact of the matter is, I know for a fact that you are in contact by what you told me they did with your third eye. I know in fact you are.
All right, good, because I thought I was kind of like, did I really imagine or see that?
No, it's true.
So, I guess it's just about to see, like, what else more I see, or I guess keep, meeting with them, I guess, I can find out more information. I like how, I think I'm going too fast, so maybe, they kind of maybe ease up because I haven't, like, seen any in a while, so, but I just lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay. I love the fact that you're having that interaction, number one, and also the fact that they recalibrated you. I also know that they seeded you. They only do that with their own. So whatever group that was that claims you, as far as you having their genealogy, they're the ones that you are definitely connected to as far as gene pool. But it'd be interesting to see. You know, as time unfolds, you're going to see more and more, and you'll know who it is that you were in interaction with. I don't want to take the fact that it's not the Antorians. It probably is. It could be the Antorians, but I have a feeling that other group, that melanin dominant group, I'd be interested to see how that plays out. I have a feeling it's interterrestrials or Martians, personally, but I could be wrong. But it'll be interesting. I would love to hear any more intel later on. I would love for you to keep in contact with me to share that. Please.
Definitely. I've been trying to get onto Cypher. I friended you on Facebook, but I don't know how to actually do it. And I did send you an email, but I know that, you said, you're one person, which I understand, and you do have a life, so I totally get it. So I was just waiting for whenever you responded back to the email, but I can...
What's your name on Facebook? Did I accept you on the Facebook friend? Did I accept you friendship-wise on Facebook?
I don't know. It's the one in... Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I do go on Facebook and just check, but I don't know if they just didn't send me the notification. I can go check again, but the link that you usually have at the bottom of your description in your videos, that's the one I clicked on.
Okay. Just, if you can, just refriend me again. Sometimes it's a matter, so many people friend me every day, and I'm at my cap, so it's hard for me to see where you are. Just take it out if I haven't accepted, refriend it, because I'll check my list today. And then I'll add you, and then just remind me on the page that you want to be part of Cypher, and then I'll add you to Cypher. Okay?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last part? I didn't catch that.
Oh, once you get on I call it the mothership. That main page is my hub. It's my mothership. Once you get on the mothership, just alert me that you would like to be on Cypher. Once you're there, I can transfer you to the Cypher group.
Oh, okay, good. I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much, Laverne. And I don't want to take away too much time because I know it's 2 o'clock, but I want to say how much I love you and thank you. Like,
I love you too.
So funny. Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, thank God for somebody who's funny after all this. Because sometimes in the community, people can be so kind of like stoic and like sad, but I'm like, no, Laverne's happy and funny. I love watching her.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm just saying, if you take everything so seriously, it will drive you mad. You might as well if today's our last day, you can at least say you had fun if you're smiling and giggling and eating a mango. I'm saying, why be so fussy about the world being what it is? It's going to be what it is. We don't have to react in the way that they want us to. We can be the way that we want to be. So just be happy. You're good. You're beautiful. You're healthy. You're having contact with your galactic family. You have everything to be pleased about. And you know your blood.
Yay, thank you.
And you know your blood type, which I'm happy about.
Me too. I was so happy when you were asking about that. I quickly went dug through my stuff and found my old blood donor card and saw it, and I was like, okay, good, I know.
I love it. I love
Oh
it.
my
That's
God.
self-awareness, that's self-love. When you know about yourself, when you're intrigued about your own genealogy, you can walk in the world with so much more confidence. I think that's beautiful. And I think a lot of us are suffering from a lack of self-awareness, and we don't know who we are and what we're really capable of doing. So I think you've already combated most of the idiosyncrasies that most people suffer from. You're good to go. Enjoy yourself.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Mama. Peace. Have a great day.
All right, thanks so much, Flora. Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Take my next call at 323-4879. You're on the line with Fleur Broom. Peace, family. Oh, wait. 323-4879. Oh, they hung up. But you got scared? Don't get scared. Listen, family, I don't bite. At least not someone that I don't want to bite. And it's all good. Don't be nervous with me. And just think of me as a mommy or auntie or your sister that has technology and she's gotten on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. It'll make you totally think of me totally different. So the number to call is 515-605-9881. Again, 515-605-9881. I'm going to take 770. I think you called last time and you didn't answer. 770-3677. You're on the line with Fleur Broom. Peace, family. 770-3677.
Hello.
Peace. Hey, C-Star.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
I actually called in earlier, but I had to hang up because I had to go do something.
Okay.
So I hurried up and tried to call again.
Good. What's going on?
Yeah. I wanted to call you because I've had some weird activity lately. It's actually happened 2 times so far, but I feel like they keep coming back. I didn't really judge it because I don't know exactly what it is. But what has happened was the first time it happened was during the afternoon when I was taking an afternoon nap. I woke up, and I'm not the type of person to really have any bad dreams. It's hard for me to have bad dreams because I'm not really scared of a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I rarely to never have nightmares. But whenever this happens, I always have a bad or a really bad emotional dream. But when I wake up, it's like I hear some flying object in the sky, and they fly away whenever I wake up. But once they fly away, it's like a crowd of crows for a good 10 to 20 seconds, just making the sounds that they do, almost as if they're yelling at it, and then it fades away. So that actually happened twice.
Can you wait? Hold on 1 second. Wait, hold on 1 second. You said
mm-hmm.
After they leave, you said, what did you hear? Something of clothes. What did you say?
A crowd of crows, like black crows, just
crows,
almost as if they were yelling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, almost as if they were yelling at it, or I'm not sure, but that's what I heard. The first time I heard it was in the afternoon. The second time I heard it was probably like a week or 2 later. But I woke up early. I woke up at 1 a.m. when this happened. So, yeah.
You want my opinion?
Yeah. I wanted to know if you maybe would have any intel or.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you. You're traveling. It's you. You're traveling. That's you traveling. I think, and you. It's probably the ship that you're hearing is you. I don't know if it's you riding a ship or having a ship. Remember, a lot of times when we're having experience, crows also are very sensitive. If their ships cloaking themselves are too low, birds are always going to react. So you're telling the truth, meaning that they're seeing something or something is disturbing their happy homeostasis. Crows are more vocal than a lot of birds. Probably more, you can hear crows a little loud. But I have a feeling it's you. That ship that you're hearing is you traveling. Whether you have your homies up on the ship, whether it's you who's guiding the ship and you don't know it. There are many beings here. Sounds like yourself, and you sound within the age of maybe being a crystal. Are you in your 20s? Or younger?
No, I'm actually 17.
Okay, you're a crystal.
Yeah.
Okay, crystals. Yeah, you're a crystal. You're traveling, honey. That's your ship. I have a feeling that's you. It sounds like it's you traveling, and it's your ship, and it's you driving it. You're just not aware.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's actually funny because I told my dad too the day that it happened. After I woke up, I kind of just stayed up, I got to, get some work done and everything. But when I told my dad later, he actually said that it might have been me astral traveling also.
Oh,
he had that
Daddy.
opinion as well.
I like
So
your
that's
daddy.
interesting to
Yes,
hear that.
Daddy. Yes, Daddy. We need Daddy in the group. Yes, Daddy. Yes. You're a crystal. Crystals have that ability. How I know that is in crystals. There are indigo children. There are blue rays. You sounded like a crystal. Crystals drive their own ships. Crystals usually go into, for some reason, you're born without the cap that others have, meaning that you're born totally with a field of awareness as far as like abilities, meaning that you're able to transform yourself. When you go into sleep world, you actually go in your ship and you go travel. Like you don't do like the whole, there's people who go through a process to even get to that point. You just do it naturally. So you're a crystal. You're a crystal baby, Daddy. And the fact that your daddy's self-aware lets me know that you come from a gene pool of heightened aware beings, meaning, most fathers, especially males, are unaware of that even being possible. The fact that your father's response lets me know that gene-wise, you're a crystal. You were formulated and created by beings of higher awareness, and that's why they gave birth to a beautiful star seed like yourself. That's your ship, honey, and it's you traveling. Whether you're using your body as an etheric ship, but you're disturbing the birds outside of your house. It's you traveling, you yourself.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I think it's beautiful. You're beautiful. And I think I'm grateful to have an awareness of you, Crystal, and just keep yourself positive, keep yourself in self-awareness, start to visualize, make sure when you go into sleep state, you start to be more conscious, meaning that you are more lucid than asleep, because
yeah, that's interesting because really, because lately I have actually been gaining more of the interest of being more serious about actually learning how to lucid dream or remembering my dreams or where I go and travel.
Good.
That has really been my focus lately. So I've been starting to search up, some things and do some things to try to lucid dream. But that's interesting.
If you're more lucid, you'll see where you go, so that it won't be such a lack of self-awareness when you go into sleep state and then you're traveling and then you're not aware of it. You'll start to know what you're doing when you become more. If you want to practice lucid dreaming, just put stuff underneath your pillow. Put a note underneath your pillow saying I'm asleep. So when you put a note underneath your pillow in the dream state, you'll find the note somewhere. It won't be underneath your pillow. It'll be in the street. You'll see it in a dream in a weird place. Once you find the note and you open it, it will bring you into awareness. So put a note underneath your pillow. It may take a while, but you're a crystal. Crystals, you guys are very, very witty and special and self-aware. And the fact of the matter is, if you want to go into lucid dreaming, I don't think you're going to have a problem doing it. I think you'll do it just because you want to. Sheena. Sorry, that's my doggy. Okay. Yeah, I think you're fine. Do that, and then call me back and tell me how that goes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Tell your daddy.
I was really nervous, but I really want to.
Yeah, tell your daddy. Flurboon said,
Yes?
You are the bomb. Tell him I said he's the bomb.com. Tell your daddy I said that. Okay.
Yes, so I'm very grateful to have him as well. I honestly feel like I wouldn't be where I am today on a mentally and spiritual, level.
Yeah.
If he wasn't there with me,
Absolutely.
So
I'm
always grateful for him as well.
You picked him for a good
reason.
reason.
And I tell him that too.
Aw, you picked him for a good reason, Starseed. You picked him. You picked him for a good reason. Okay.
And thank you.
You're welcome. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Aw, she's so sweet. You see that? That's a crystal. Crystals don't really need much. Some of us are born on analog and we have to be converted to digital. She's not digital. She's like airwaves. She is what crystals do. The blue rays and the crystals, they do things telepathically, telekinesis. They're on point. She's traveling. Every time she goes to sleep, she thinks it's another being outside of herself. It's her. It's her traveling. And her father is amazing. This is a sun star. I love men like this. This is what I'm talking about. When you have aware parents, you give birth to your greatest ancestors. He gave birth to a crystal. That is the father and the mother. Kudos to them as parents. I love it. I really support that. I think it's beautiful. And this is why we master mating, because when you mate with somebody of higher fields of consciousness, you give birth to a goddess. Peace to them. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna take another call. Next call is 615-5561. You're on the line with Flurboon. Peace, family. 615-5561. Peace.
Peace and love. I am so happy to hear from you. I have been wanting to tell you some things for a while now.
I appreciate it.
I had an experience, sir. I have had experience of seeing things in a trance, visits with ancestors in a trance, and as well as being asleep. I was asleep, and I traveled outside of the universe. Someone came and said, "Come on, you're gonna have to help." So they're over here trying to tear things up on Earth. I said, "Where are we going?" And this person says, I couldn't recognize the face. It says, "Do you have your powers? Just come on." So they flew, and they said, "Come on, use your own power. I don't have to carry you." So I flew off. I went through the Milky Way, and when I saw the Milky Way, went through it, and was working on something outside of the universe. And it was so, when I woke up, I was so tired because I had felt like I had worked all night. And this is not the first time that I've had dreams like that. I have dreams like that a lot. And I just, and not all the time that I've had these experiences that I was asleep. One particular time after having a baby, I had a visit. My baby had a visit, and it was on the bed. I just had a hot cup of soup and a soda, and I didn't know how long I was out. So when I came to myself, my ice had not melted down to taste like water. My soup was still piping hot. So I knew that I was not even asleep with this visit, watching my brother, who was deceased, play with my son that I had just had. And this has been going on since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And my mother used to tell me all the time that I was different. My mother's full-blooded Cherokee.
I knew this. I knew it. I knew it. I just knew when you said it. I was like, she's either Cherokee or Blackfoot. I knew it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I love this. Go ahead. I love this.
And I contact you a lot. As soon as I hear or see things that's going on in the universe is not right, not an hour later, something says, click on the video. I click on the video, and we're working on the same thing with the chemtrails. I have even went outside, and I knew you were helping me push back storms. I knew you were there helping me push back storms. I don't know who the other people are, but I'm not the only one. I know there are many people, and the things that they have come against us with different types of geostorms. I know that we have been doing a lot of work. Yes. And, my husband doesn't mind. My husband I'm 63. People think I'm 40. Oh, my husband's 40. Yeah. And they're like, okay. And my sister used to always say, well, I just have to deal with what's this world, And I have always told her, this is not my home. This is not my home. Yeah. And I'll stay to this day. this is not my home. But I cannot put it together because there's two beings. And I don't know if they're, I don't know if they're Palladium or Andromeda. They are very much present in my home all the time.
Okay.
Very present.
Yeah.
And the shadows come in, open my door, walk by. I don't have any fear. You taught me not to fear. Before then, I had a lot of fear. It was times I would sit in my car, and I wouldn't come in the house and be at home alone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get in the shower alone. But I thank you for that, because you say no one can do anything to you that you don't give them authority to do. I thank you so much for that, because I have actually heard my door open, saw a shadow walk by. I continue to wash dishes at the sink. I say, you wasn't invited here. Find your way out just like you found.
That's right, and they have to leave. They have to leave. That's right. They have to leave. Absolutely, they do.
And that's what happens. And I thank you so much, because I mean, you have opened my eyes. I have thought this power so bad, and it's time now for me to stop fighting whatever this power is I have. And but I have pushed it away because I was caught early, like hearing things, oh, this is evil, that's evil. I don't have an evil bone or evil thought towards anyone in my body.
Good.
I don't have evil thoughts towards people. I'm not an evil person. But I've been able to people have been healed of heart attacks. People have been healed through cancer through me. And sometimes the toughest thing is for me to heal myself. But it eventually gets done.
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, now I want to know who my family is. Who is my family? I feel like it's either Andromeda or either Palladium. I'm not sure. But, I mean, I'm not seeing them clearly, their face clearly, but they are so very present. They're so very present. I happened to see one just 2 days ago, a being 2 days ago, sitting in the high part of, I have very high ceiling, and I'm sitting very high in the ceiling with the legs crossed like an Indian. And I'm okay, like, I'm not afraid, but okay, I would like to know who you are, And it wasn't like they responded to anything. I fell asleep. I said, well, you just watch everything. I'm going to sleep. And I'm like, okay, I'm not totally understanding everything, but this power has been with me since I was 6 years old. And a lot of it, I'm like pushing it back, and I'm not using it. It's almost like two beings are fighting over me. It's like one being is saying that I'm a part of this, and then another being is saying I'm a part of that. And it's not confusing me, but I would like to know.
Okay. Well, you have the feeling of a volunteer, what we call volunteers. You came with the first two waves. You feel like a volunteer. If you want to know what that is, read Dolores Cannon goes deep into that. You have their feeling. You feel like a volunteer. You just feel like you're here. And probably children and animals love you. I know there's people come to you for help and guidance.
They do.
Yeah, you have the volunteer.
They do.
Yeah, they come for you. The first person that when you said is around you, that's how I knew you were either connected to the Blackfoot or the Cherokee, is because she wears and you could see it on you. It's crazy because sometimes I get visuals, sometimes I don't, but you could see it. And I didn't know if it was a feather or a web. So what she wears on one ear, it's only on one, and you should look it up because it's probably something connected to the Cherokee or the Blackfoot. She wears a white, it looks like a dream catcher. It's like a web. It's white inside. It's brown on the outside. It's like an earring. It hangs from the top of her ear, though, to the bottom. It's not like, you know how we have earrings on the bottom of our lobe? This one's a little different. It hangs from the top of her ear down, and it looks like a web inside. That's why it makes me think it's a dream catcher, but it's webbed inside. It's like a brown shell on the outside, and then it's white feathers down. She only wears this on her, I think it's her left ear. Left ear, because it's a left ear, and her hair is always back and black and long. So whatever ancestor that's connected to, that's the one who came up on you right away. That's a visual that just popped in. You're a volunteer. Read Dolores Cannon book on volunteers. You came with the first two waves. That's why children, animals, and people come to you for all kinds of guidance. They know that you're here as a helper, as someone to aid everyone and usher people to the enlightenment stage. And also you have to be careful that you're not going to get ailments in your stomach and in your spleen. Be careful with that, because you're taking a lot of people's garbage, and it's going to affect your spleen or your tummy. So be careful with that.
Exactly, because every time I heal someone, I used to do it a lot, and after I did it, I would get sick, but not with the exact same ailment they would have.
No.
But after I was so draining, it drained a lot of energy from me.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. I told my husband, and he said, just stop it. He said, I know how you are about helping people. He said, I know how you are. He said, but you're just gonna have to stop it and take care of yourself. Okay.
Water.
Now,
Hold on.
I'm having a ringing in my ear.
Oh, wait, there's something else that she's doing. This is crazy. You're giving me this. It's not me, it's you. You're communicating with me, or she's communicating with me. She's putting her hand in water. As you're saying that you're getting sick for healing people, she's putting her hand, if you can see me on live, she's putting her hand and she's scooping it in water. So what I'm assuming she's telling you to do is clean your hands every time you heal someone. Oh, I got it. I'm getting chills. I got it right. Oh my God, they give me chills. She said to wash your hands after you heal someone.
Thank you.
She's putting, oh my God, she's giving me chills.
Every time.
Oh my God, that is beautiful. I never got that before.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because I have never, I'm not always around water, but I would never do that if I'm not around water. I'll make sure that I have a way to clean my hands. Thank you. That was a big gift. That was a big gift. And this ringing in my ear for a whole year, and the doctors can't find anything wrong. A whole year. I'm like, okay, this is enough of this.
That's her.
What is it you want me to do? I'm like, okay, it's something I'm supposed to be doing.
No, that's her. That's her. That's communication like that. That's sometimes it's other beings. Sometimes it's picking up. Sometimes it could be, it can be other things, tendonitis. But this is her. This one's strong with your bloodline. I don't know if she's your great-great-great-grandmother. She's so connected to you, but she's the one who said to wash your hands. That's the one, because for her to communicate with me like this so powerfully, I don't get visuals like that. It's not my thing. I have other abilities, but she's giving me visuals of her. She's telling me to wash your hands after you heal, and she's the one who's communicating with you like that. That's who you're getting the ringing from. Try to quiet your mind and allow for the communication to come so that you can hear the whispers, because they don't communicate in the same way. It's just your way of trying to discern. You don't have the frequency to match that. It's like that veil is thick, that border. So when you hear ringing, I want you to quiet your mind, everything, turn everything off, quiet your mind, and tell yourself, I want to know, I want to hear, I want to know what it is that I'm hearing, that I'm listening to. And you will get a visual, because she's visually giving these things to me, meaning that she way more can do this to you. Be open for that, because she does that. And she's strong. That's somebody who's really strong with you. Connected to the Pelagians. That's a Pelagian.
One more thing.
Yes.
One more thing I want to ask you about. I said, everybody said, oh, you're a shaman, you're a shaman. I said, no, I'm not a shaman. I'm not accepting any of that. I'm not accepting anything. And I was in the bathtub. I said, okay, I give up. I said, whatever it is, I have to accept. Whatever my mission is, I said, I'm here to complete it and do what I'm supposed to do.
You're a volunteer.
And I levitated 2 inches, maybe 4, out of the water. And I screamed. It scared me, and I screamed. Everybody in the house came running. And the voice said, expect that. Don't be alarmed. Expect that. And I'm like, okay. And then my son, he goes off. He says, well, I'm your son, and you have these kind of powers. We used to think you were a witch, which hurt my feelings so bad because I've always seen a witch in my mind. As a child, I thought a witch was an evil person. And I said, oh, I'm not a witch. Please do not call me a witch. And my children used to say, you can't hide anything from Mom. She knows things. She knows that she knows everything you do. You can't hide it. Mom's a witch. And finally, I got them to stop saying that. And my son says, okay, I'm your son. If you have these powers and I'm seeing powers, I'll have them too. She goes right out of my bedroom in the kitchen and moves the glass completely across without touching it. So I'm like, okay, it's not weird to me, but it's weird to other people, and it's a very, very lonely life because this is the kind of thing you can't tell people.
Well,
but there's a lot of people that know, and they expect me to do things. I can't always just do things on my own just because somebody wants me to. It's not I swear I won't say I don't know if I can or not, but I don't see that I can just take on that power and say, okay, I feel you supernaturally, and here I'm going to do it. It doesn't come like that.
No, it's not natural, and nor is it for everybody. Not everybody's meant to be healed because karma is there for a reason. Some people's actions have a reaction as far as karmically. So, that's why some people get healed and some don't. Some people feel like healing someone, and some people don't feel like beginning of the show. Everyone wants sovereignty over their organs and their being, but some beings don't have that as a option. So that being said, protect yourself. At the end of the day, you should not be healing from a placement of depreciation. You should only heal when your cup is overfilled. You hear me say that very often. I only give to you when my cup is overfilled. You should never give from a full cup or an empty cup because you will harm yourself and make yourself sick. The reason why she's showing you water and cleansing yourself is because you're picking things up. You saying no has nothing to do with being negative. It has to do with self-love. So heal thyself first. Thank you. Dire Straits. Dire Straits said it. Heal thyself first. When you come from a healthy disposition, then you can help others. If you're having ailments, backaches, and so on, and shoulder aches, it's because you have too much on your shoulders and you're trying to heal from a depreciative point of view. Take care of self first. You have a family.
You're absolutely correct. I thank you so much.
I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And thank you for volunteering, for coming and helping us at this time. The earth really appreciates it, and I'm sure you're going to have a hefty reward when you return back to your home. So
yeah,
peace.
Much more so now because I understand so much today that I haven't. And I appreciate you so much. And I thank you for all you do.
I
thank you for your telepathic, all your so telepathic. I mean, I'm like, okay, because there are times that I know where I need to hear a sound person to give sound advice.
I understand.
And this voice says, okay, go to Flivering. She has something for you.
Aww.
And there, I click it. I can click on the old video, and there it is.
The answer. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I'm grateful that I'm appreciative that I'm helpful. I'm grateful for that. So
and believe me, sister. I surround you every day. I surround you every day. Every day, I surround you.
Thank you. I appreciate
with nothing but love and protection.
I accept.
Because I know that you're a powerful. I know that you're a powerful being, and I know that I am too.
You are.
So please continue your work.
I will.
Continue your work
with honor and joy and laughter. At the end of the day, we're going to enjoy ourselves. If we're taking this trip, we're going to have a good time taking it. That's how I'm going to ride this journey. I'm going to ride it with a smile and some enjoyment along the way.
They're almost pushing me out of the house. I'm about on the verge of saying, okay, I'm going to have to pack a bag and say goodbye, guys, and go to Brazil. I'm on the verge because they're weighing me down here.
Exodus to Brazil, dancing,
I
good
have so
food.
many people in my house that I'm taking care of, and they're weighing me down. I'm saying, okay, I may have to pack a bag and say goodbye and take a little trip to Brazil to get some relaxation and some fun because it's been all work for me.
I agree. Sometimes we need a little furlough. We need a little exodus of our own. We need a little, like a little place where we can recover, recap, and enjoy ourselves. Remember, many people think that it's all hard work, that we're here to slave. And no, we're here to enjoy the human experience. And by all means, you should enjoy all the the wonders that life has to give you. There are a lot of beings who want to be embodied right now. A lot of incarnates who would love to have a body to enjoy and see and experience what we're experiencing. We need to be grateful that we're here and enjoy the experience while we're here. Yes, we're going to learn lessons. Yes, we're here to grow and extend. But at the same point, why not enjoy the scenery while you're taking the ride? That's my answer.
Exactly.
All right, C-Star.
Enjoy the journey.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, peace, infinite bliss. I love it. That's a volunteer, everyone. That's the sound of a volunteer. She will be highly, highly rewarded when she returns to her home planet. I know this for a fact. The volunteers, if you don't know the book, Dolores Cannon, Convoluted Universe, you must get. It's a must. It talks about the waves of volunteers. She's a volunteer. You can feel it in her soul. And just the fact that her guides, did you see what that guide did to me? It just showed itself. I don't get that. It's a testament to who she is, and it's a testament to how strong the beings that are in her posse are. That's a being that's rocking with her. That's not a light being, not a light guide. That's a strong guide who made sure I told her to clear her hands, wash her hands every time she heals. That's beautiful. I don't get that. I love it. I'm really grateful to even have that kind of interaction. So let's keep it moving. I'm going to take 2 more calls. And then, I'm a mommy. I have to go prepare dinner for my little ones. I made some greens. I want to make some kalaloo and some ackee. I'm hungry. I had an apple. It's not going to play. It's not going to last long. Anyway, so let me take a next caller. Next caller is 313-9319. 313-9319. Peace, family.
Hello.
Hello,
This
sister.
Monique.
Hey, Monique. How you doing, C-Star?
Our telepathy, me and you, our thing always works.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What's good, mama?
Well, to add on to that other A positive, this is the one who found out I was an A positive.
That's right.
And to add on to the other mama that was just on, I'm found out about the Blackfoot. Now I got to tell you about this dream I had on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And it was crazy. Okay, we were at my childhood house. My aunt drove. She was pushing 3 gremlins. The old gremlin cars.
Oh, yep.
And she was in the 4th gremlin car. Okay, so I went to the bathroom. The bathroom was a mix of my bedroom now and our old bathroom in the childhood house. It was a Native American man in blue water in a tub. He was looking straight up in the ceiling. He had on tan color outfit with red, blue, and yellow fringes.
Okay.
It was candles. Some were burnt all the way down the wick, all the way down. Some were brand new. Some were in the middle. He turns and looks at me, and then we're in a trance. And I'm in a trance looking at him, and I can't break out of it. But I do know that I'm in this vision. It's not quite a dream. I know it's not a dream because I got to use the bathroom. So I used the bathroom in this vision. And as I'm using the bathroom, before I go to the bathroom in my real house, my thermometer in my house has the time.
Yeah.
It's 8:34 when I go to the bathroom. I wake up in real life, go to the bathroom, come out the bathroom after washing my hands, look at the time, and it's 8:34.
Ooh, okay. It's teleporting. You teleported. That's a teleportation.
The man that I saw in my dream used to be on his face used to be on my wall. And it would be like what some people would say would be sleep
Okay. Okay.
But as I'm looking, I'm forced to look at it. It's a Native American head.
Okay. Okay. That's your. That's a. He's doing. You said it. He's doing a trans ritual, which many of the Native American shaman men used to do. They'd stay in sweat lounges, and they contact their ancestors through these sweat in the teepees. Like you climb in there. You teleported. He brought you in. Actually, you're him. It could be that you're him.
This was like 6, 7. These are years. Like that was like about probably, I'd say about, actually, no, that was 9 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That was 9 years ago. And I'm entering into a new phase where I'm about to leave somebody.
Okay.
And we've been together 9 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I feel like I'm regenerated, and I'm about to turn 39.
Oh, snap.
And my daughter, I have a lot of synchronicities going on. My daughter is 6 years old, and yesterday was the date of the Challenger. I was 6 years old 32 years ago.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And at the date of the Challenger, which means, it's a lot of numbers. I got numbers jumping out at me crazy.
Yeah. You've got a lot.
Also, I talked to your astrologer.
Oh, Javega. Yes, Javega.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think, first of all, that you might be him. Whenever they're doing their shamans go into, they start to hallucinate. And a lot of the Native American, they go into teepees. They do like a sweat teepee where it's smoked out with incense. And they start to hallucinate, but it's not hallucination. They teleport. And I have a feeling that it's you and him are one. It felt that way. It felt like that's you in your previous life as a shaman in your Native American form.
And that's the crazy part, Blue Room. When I used to live in Southwest Detroit, these Native American women came up to me and they looked, well, some would classify them as witch. I didn't classify them as witch. They look like spiritual women.
Okay.
And they came up to me and they were like in awe of me. And yes, I have different features because remember I told you I am black, but also my father's mother was Puerto Rican.
Okay.
And his great-grandmother was full-blood Blackfoot. And then over on my mother's side, we got Cherokee and Seminole, and it's just a whole big old...
It's beautiful.
Big old thing.
Okay.
And I found out that my blood type wasn't... Remember, because I'm the one that you checked out about the blood type. My blood type being A positive, yes, and me being black, and the area that I'm from, which, me being from Detroit.
Yes.
And
Detroit has a huge Blackfoot and Cherokee population. Most of the brown people from D-Town, big up to D-Town. Most people from D-Town are mixed with the Blackfoot and the Cherokee. The majority of brown people there, and they all have similar phenotypes. Very similar as far as, especially even with their health ailments. They pretty much clone each other as far as the things that go on with them. There's a big population of Cherokee and Blackfoot. I would say 80% of the beings there that you consider to be quote unquote brown black people or African Americans are not African Americans, they're Native Americans. We can almost testify to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And even with the amount of, sorry, I'm getting text. Even with the amount of intel with the connection to the Pelagians, many of the beings in Detroit have a high amount of connection to the Pelagian star family that are in contact with them and their beings. A lot of that Native American, a lot of the ancestral people are contacting. There's a lot. That's why in Detroit, you can go to Walgreens and buy liquor and go to the gun store. You know why? Because they know that that's a heightened bloodline. That's a very rich bloodline there in Detroit. Detroit is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever visited. Remember, my ex had family in Detroit. I had a phenomenal time, but I also noticed that they were heavy trying to indoctrinate and to toxify the beings living there. So it also let me know. Also, alcohol is alcohol.
What happened now is what they've done is a lot of gentrification. And what I tell people is gentrification at its very finest is broken down to color magic.
Okay. Yeah.
When you think about gentrification,
well,
you know how in color magic, black, it absorbs the negativity, the white repels it.
Yes.
And this is, no, I'm not going into, race relations.
No, it's colorism.
So everybody who's on that can chill out. But we talking about just color magic. And gentrification is that, just like spelling, grammar. Grammar is magic. It's spelling.
Absolutely.
Spelling is magic. They're using it against you. You have to know how to put your words together because it is the language is to entrap you.
Yes.
Married time is to entrap you.
Yes.
You have to know your laws and your laws of nature.
Absolutely. And it is also why, but if we also know that there's a heightened amount of Native Americans there, you also know that natives have what we consider to be a allergy to liquor, which is distilled sugar. And they know this. That's why there's a heightened amount of alcoholism in Detroit. And why it is because they're not alcoholics. It's because they have an allergy that gives them a euphoric feeling, which makes them more susceptible to alcoholism. And that is why they have made sure to perpetuate liquor. I noticed that in Detroit. The first thing I noticed is I've never seen a drugstore sell alcohol. I've never seen that in my life. I've traveled many places, and they let me know that they're perpetuating something that they know that those native people have a sensitivity to, and to keep them repressed. So Detroit is definitely one of those places that I would be concerned with the Native American bloodline waking up. Also, Detroit has a heightened amount of spirituality with the linkage to the Blackfoot and the Cherokee, especially at this time as we're awakening in Aquarius. Detroit was supposed to lead in the ascension process, and they've not been able to do it based on the fact that they've been repressing people, utilizing a drug, a chemical called distilled sugar, on a people that has a susceptibility to alcoholism based on their allergy.
Since I had that dream, my son could see my third eye, and I noticed it too, because I've been able to see my son's third eye since he's been a baby. He was a twin. My daughter passed. And his third eye, you can see it on his forehead. It's like a long slit. It's not like people put it on, how they make it look like your regular eyes or nothing. It actually go up and down. Well, since my dream on New Year's Eve, because that dream happened on New Year's Eve, he could see my third eye, and he says that he could see these lines come down from my eyes.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Because he can see spirits and talk to spirits.
Well, Mama, you gave him that extra gene that will stay within your child. Remember, the woman gives an extra the woman gives an extra chromosome mitochondria to her child. So any gift that you have, you would give a gift to your child. And just to hold on one moment. To Miss Iggy, who stated about the birds, you were absolutely right. The birds were actually communicating. They were really loud in the background, trying to intercept and to speak. And trying to communicate. So thank you, Miss Iggy, for bringing that up. I did hear the birds. Thank you, the girl, Figgy. I heard the birds in the background trying to telecommunicate while we're talking here. So thank you. I did realize that as well. I wasn't playing Bob Marley. That was my mate. That's my mate's ringtone. Whenever he texts me, he has Bob Marley. So it's just my phone ringing. Everyone's asking me questions. I think your son is you. I think you've given him your gifts. I think it's a testament to who you are genetically. And I think you're just going to continue to keep away.
And my daughter says she's a fairy. I told you that,
I love that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I think you just have,
and she bounces and flies. And I mean, not actually fly, but like when you see how the little fairies just dart around, she actually does that. And I do not kill no more ants after listening to you.
I appreciate that.
Right. And they seem to, yes, and they seem to colonize around me.
Okay. That's a sign of healthiness, and also, whenever bugs want to stay near a home, it's usually when it's a high amount of kinetic energy. Most people remember in a lot of frightening movies, a lot of scary movies, they tell you the truth. You ever notice right when there's a haunting, there's usually flies all in a room, black flies? That's a testament to kinetic energy. Usually if there's a lot of kinetic energy, they're attracted to flies. You'll go in a room and you'll see a fly go only around certain people who have a lot of kinetic energy. Insects are attracted to that kind of energy. They recognize it. As you know, the insects are connected to some of the insectilian groups. So they recognize when beings hold a field of safety, of nurturing. Those are connected to the fairy realms. They tend to stay around areas like that. So that's why you'll see old movies with witches, with spiders around their house and so on. They're making it creepy, but it's really...
Yes.
It's
we
really,
have spiders.
Yeah, but it's really a testament. But it's a testament that it's saying that that being is in alignment with nature. They're trying to make it seem creepy, like spiders are creepy and so on. No, it's not. It's a testament to anybody who's in alignment with nature, knows that everything exists for a reason and purpose, that it's not our right to take it upon ourselves to harm anything in nature. The beings that are residing on this planet right now are anti-nature. It lets you know that they're genetically modified, they're not from this planet, and they are not here for the cohesiveness and the healthiness of the planet. And for that reason, that is why they are being removed in the droves, and that's why they won't be able to replicate themselves and have any more babies on this planet to plant their seeds to further hurt and harm Mother Tiamat, Mother Earth. Anyway,
and the humming. I feel the humming in my body.
That's a vibration of you're feeling you're raising, you're in tune, you're getting in tune vibrationally. That's good. It's good. Well, C-Star, thank you for calling in. I always love talking to you.
Just stay here. I remember last time when you flipped me off. And I had to tell you about my blood type, and
did I? No.
And you clipped me back on.
Did I do that? I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't do it purposely.
No, because I had to tell you, because I was like, I didn't tell her, and then you clicked me back on. No, we always have our own thing going. We have our mind thing going, so it's okay.
Absolutely. All right, Mama.
All right, peace, everybody.
Peace.
Love everybody.
Peace. Okay, I'm going to take my last caller of the night. I would take more. I'm doing this pro bono show. I just decided since we did the show to just bring it on. A lot of you have questions, and I think it's only fair sometimes to have these interactions and questions. Let me take the next caller, 215-1768. Something told me to take your call, 215-1768. Whoever this is, what's going on? This is Fleur Broom. 215? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, C-Star.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Oh, hi, it's Dolores from Philadelphia.
Hi, good. How are you?
Okay. I originally called to ask about my AB positive bloodline and how it relates to my solvency and where that is. But when the young lady came on, I started thinking about my niece.
Okay.
And I guess she's been in contact also since she was about 6, maybe even 4.
Okay.
But now she is getting contacts where she's blanking out. So we can all be sitting around and she can sit there and not even be there with us.
Okay.
And her mother started getting concerned and start taking her to the hospital and getting, her examined. And I'm just really concerned that her mom doesn't understand, and I wanted to help her. And I've been getting like these messages like to help Aaron, reach out to Aaron, and I was trying to get some tools on, you know, how I can do that.
Okay.
To kind of help bring her along.
With the young lady, she's 6. You said she's 6. How long has she been doing that blanket?
No, she's been getting contacts. Like I've been getting that message from her mother where, you know, she's talked to people in her room since she was 6 years old, but she's 13 now. Ooh. And I noticed, I guess around her birthday in October, she like totally blanked out because I gave her something and her mom was saying, well, tell Auntie, you know, thank you. And she wasn't even there for maybe about 7 minutes. And we always saying, Aaron, Aaron. And then she came back and said, what? Did someone say something to me? And so then that started happening regularly. And her mom reached out to me. It's like, Dolores, it's been going on for a month now where, you know, she just blanks out.
And when she turned 13, which is a pinnacle age, too.
She's 13.
She turned 13. So it started when she turned 13, like this?
October the 21st.
Okay.
Of 17.
Okay. So I think the mother is correct. Why? Is because where I'm nervous about that is the blanking out for that long period of time. That could be a seizure. She may have something going on with her brain. And, you know, I'm all about metaphysics and spirituality, and it is interconnected. It could just mean she's blinking in and out. Sometimes some souls, it's too heavy to be here and they don't want to be here. So they kind of push themselves out. And she may be doing that on a spiritual level. But on a physiological level, there may be something propelling that. So I would really have her have a brain scan. I'm being honest. I think this may be something that has to do with her brain. But I think it's spiritually linked as well. I think she's a special being. I think she doesn't necessarily like being here all the time. It's very heavy here. Earth is not somewhere right now where most beings want to be, even if they volunteered. It's very dense. It's very heavy. She's probably like a fairy. Sometimes fairies blink out like that. She could have that fairy energy on her. And she may just click out, blink. We call it blinking. She may blink out and disappear, where her soul kind of, or the splinter of her soul kind of disappears for a little bit. She goes and plays with her homies on the other side, and then she comes back. She might be doing this. But again, I'm concerned with her actually physiological body. And the fact of the matter is, even if she's experiencing this on a spiritual level, we have to be very mindful that this very well could be a seizure and something is going on with her brain. And we don't want to make this normal for her or encourage it, because she could spiritually, by doing this spiritually and to be encouraged, she might morph her own physical body to start to do this more regularly, and she might cause a physiological alteration of her brain, and it might cause issues like having epilepsy, or again, I think this is a seizure or something to do with her brain, to be honest. Yep. Okay, and she's so young, and also hormonally she may be changing, so this might be provoked by her hormones changing. She's 13. She's at the precipice of getting her menses. It may be causing this also.
Well, yeah, she did take her to see the neurologist and a couple of, the other doctors, and they did find that it wasn't nothing, I guess, medically wrong with her.
Okay.
So now she's seeing, psychiatrist.
So tell mommy make sure they don't give her psychotropic drugs. See, now they may be looking for something psychological. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Now, as long as there's nothing wrong with her brain, make sure they're not going to give her, because if there's nothing wrong with her brain, she can recover from this. She'll just grow out of this once she feels a certain way.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
That's the other side of it. She's actually, her mother has had her medicated since she first started seeing the, talking to the little people. So, Ritalin and, since she was about, first grade, second grade.
Oh, This is why she's blanking out. It's her people. Those are her people. She's part of the fairies blink out.
Right.
I've heard this more than not. That's why I say she's probably connected to the fairies. Fairies don't like being here, especially it's very dense. they don't like being here because it's not a happy place. Fairies like to play. They like glitter. They like shining. They like dancing. They don't like the heaviness of Earth right now, but we need them to shine light so that we get happy and we're stimulated to be artistic and special. But she's medicating her. That's probably what caused her to blank out. Why is she medicating her baby?
Yeah, she just, yeah, ever since, because of what you said in school and all that, she just was that, happy person that she would just do her work really quick, and then she would just, be happy around and not, I guess, in the teacher's eyes, not pay attention, not be settled. So ever since she was in kindergarten, she's been giving her, the medication, and she took her off this year. So this year she said she's not going to give Erin anymore. She's going to wean her off of it.
Good.
And that started happening.
Good. Well, that's another thing. She's changed her biochemistry by giving her chemicals psychotropics. All these drugs have all kinds of alternative side effects that could be long lasting. So even though she took her off the drugs, it takes a long time for even some of these drugs to get out of your system. So even if she's off now, it could take her 2 to 3 years to actually fully get it out of her system. It's sad, and I would suggest she detoxes her. Thank you, Dire Straits. She needs to do her a little fasting, do a little green juicing, get her a little bit of that, what is it called? It's like a metal detoxer. Starts a chelation. Start a process called chelation, where she pulls some of the metals and the toxins out of her system. Also, if you can encourage the mother to give her a little bit of charcoal in her water, charcoal helps to absorb chemicals and things, trace minerals that are not healthy for her. She needs to do like a nice green juice smoothie, a yummy smoothie. My little girls love smoothies, like pineapple, mango, some kale in there, a little bit of I would love her to put some what is it called? It's a green that you, oh goodness, it's from the sea. It's another green that you add to it. She needs some greens to pull her back in, to make her system more cohesive, and just, and put her in an art class and allow her to be, allow her to start to find herself. Start to get that fairy dust back on her. She needs that. Spirulina, thank you, Ashley, spirulina. She needs a little spirulina. Spirulina will help. Yeah, spirulina, and add a little spirulina. Sea moss is good. The sea star is all giving you great chlorophyll in her water, which I give my little ones, which helps to clear her out. You got to get her back. She's been chemicalized. Yeah. Poor thing.
Well, because her mother has just started, getting into drinking smoothies and, eat out. So that's good. And I'm looking.
Please do. Please do. She'll come back. We can't chemicalize the babies, and big pharma only wants to create drones and clones. They don't really want thinking beings. So anytime they get a chance to get your baby and to chemicalize them, it doesn't matter if you're white, brown, green, in between, they will chemicalize every child that you give them the rites of passage to. We cannot send our babies to these horrible genocidal doctors. Sometimes I believe if it's special, like she had a brain issue, by all means get her tested. If she's fine, then you can do, it's your child, it's your niece. You can do better within the realms of a mother's love and the herbals that we learned from Dr. Sebi and Dr. Africa, Jewel Brookman, also Queen Afua. There's a host of other herbalists and naturopathic doctors that we can take some of their knowledge and information and be able to heal our babies and ourselves.
Oh, that's great. I know she's been on my mind and just keeps saying, Erin, so I'm going to reach out to her mom and see if I can get her board.
Please add spirulina. Spirulina will help her. Okay. It'll help her. It will.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You.
And I just want to throw the AB positive in relation to my sovereignty, or where it, kind of like comes from, because I know I heard you saying something about how it's a mix of different, areas, or where you would come from to have the A and the B.
Yeah.
Not just, like the
A and B is usually, especially when people of color, I always noted to being connected to a lot of the excuse me, the indigenous. A lot of the Native Americans have the AB combination. I noticed that. With that bloodline, you just have to be mindful of ABs can take blood and mate with everybody, to be honest. They're the one beings who can take blood from everyone, and they can actually have sex with everyone. They can. Excuse me. Because of the combination. Remember, they're not O's. So I have more warnings to O's than I have of ABs and Bs. You guys can enjoy each other. ABs can mate with another AB. You can mate with the B. You can mate with the A. You can take blood from an A, O. You're good. So as far as AB, you're just more connected to the Native American. The A's and the B's have a lot of strong connection to a lot of the Native bloodlines. I noticed that as a commonality amongst the many, even the Crete. I noticed there's a big population of the Crete that have B and AB. So, you know, start looking into that. Also finding out aspects of your genealogy that's connected to the foods. You know, many of the indigenous Native Americans here are sensitive to tomatoes, you know, red tomatoes, because they're homogenized. They have issues with acidity. They have sensitivities to distilled sugar and sugar. You know, Native American, there's a lot of, but they do okay with potatoes. Whereas some other gene pools, I don't like them messing with potatoes because they're starch. So that's what I'm saying. Find out a little bit more about your indigenous connection. Find out granny, auntie, people who are still living, who have a connection to their indigenous bloodlines.
Yes, okay. I just start doing the food chart to see, you know, in relation to TV. So.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Okay. Peace. All right, family. You know I did a pro bono show. I'm off. You know I got to go cook. Listen, we weren't supposed to do this today, but thank you again for calling in. This is wonderful. I love this, like, you know, open call, open mic moment we had. You know, I'm going to go and make some ackee with some callaloo tacos. Oh my gosh. So, you know, I have to go and make this. Yeah, I make callaloo and ackee tacos. I'm about to go dive into the kitchen and make that for myself and my little people. So enjoy. Yes, I am quite the Caribbean woman. I wish I had some mangoes. I didn't get fresh mangoes because they're not in season, but I would have diced some mangoes and put that in there too. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I love you, family. Thank you for joining me again today. I love this little kiki that we had together. And again, you know, remember, just like I told the cipher, the 31st is coming. The energies are really strong. Protect yourself. Remember, we're having a lunar eclipse, a blue moon, a blood moon, and it is the gate. It's called, and it's not the Lion's Gate, it's the Aquarian Gate. So you got a whole lot going on. So people will be a little crazy right now. Avoid arguments. Don't get in beefs with anyone. This is a time the moon controls emotions and water. So because we have such a remember we had the solar eclipse, this is likened to that on the moon side. And people will be acting like maniacs. So refrain from hurting each other. Refrain from trying to strangle somebody. Yeah, the 31st. So around this time right now for the next couple of days, avoid arguments. Avoid people you have beef with. Try to be vigilant when you're out in public, because this is a time where a lot of arguments will start to ensue. Okay, so I want to give that warning. I already gave the warning to, you know, the cipher. And because we're in the aware community, you want to make sure that you know what's coming. This is because we get the pullback of the energy, meaning that there's going to be a tsunami of emotions coming. And you want to make sure that you are muting a lot of that so that you're not overwhelmed and going into like madness. Lunatics will show up right now. Okay, so I know I made you all hungry. Peace. I enjoyed your company. Enjoy your evening, and I'm out. Peace.